Hi folks, District Governor John coming to you again today with another Governor's Vlog. Today we have an out-of-district visitor. This is very exciting, a new way to raise money. You know, our past District Governor John Cram rode his motorcycle halfway, if not fully, across the country raising money for polio. Well, we heard recently about another gentleman who's finding a new way to raise money about polio. Meet Owen Stanley from the I'm going to ask you your district number and name and location. Owen, tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing.
My name is Owen P. Stanley. I'm from the Rotary Club of Johnstown Sunset in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. That's east of Pittsburgh, and that's still in Rotary District 7305. And my project, it's called Owen's Odyssey, a hike to end polio. And my plan is that this spring, March 2021, actually March 9th is my start day. I will through hike the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. That will be just about 2,200 miles, equivalent of going up and down Mount Everest 16 times to raise funds and awareness for polio eradication. I've set a monetary goal of raising $100,000 cash, and I am very pleased to say that here at the top of January 2021, we have already gotten 25% of the way there. We've raised over $25,000, so we're optimistic to hit our goal. But when will we hit our goal, and how far can we exceed our goal? Because remember, everything that is raised will also get a 2-to-1 match from the Gates Foundation.
Super exciting. You know, we heard about what you were doing and that you were going to be rolling through Carlisle, which is the right in the middle of our district. And I've already spoken with one of the past district governors from Carlisle, and they'd love to hear from you if you need lodging as you're going through Carlisle. We're excited about you raising money for polio, obviously. So tell me a little bit about the trip. You earlier, before we jumped on here, said that it was going to take you less time than the average person. Tell me about how long it takes to get through it and why you think you're going to be able to go faster.
My wife, she likes to point out that I walk too fast and I need to slow down a little bit. So whenever I'm left to my own devices, I seem to cover a lot of ground. I've managed to achieve some interesting milestones with hiking over this past year for conditioning for the Appalachian Trail. Here in my backyard, we have something called the Laurel Highlands Hiking Trail. It's 70 miles long. It goes from Ohiopyle to Seward, Pennsylvania, and my first time attempting that trail, I did the entire thing by myself, 70 miles, in 52 and a half hours. And I've done some other extreme long distances. I did a section of that trail, 43 miles in 19 hours. And really what boils down to this, there's a practical, logistical reason, and then there's also a metaphorical reason. The real logistical reason is that the longer you're out there, the more expensive it gets. And I'm financing this trip on my own. I picked up a second job as a waiter at a local restaurant so that I can afford to do this trip, cover my home-related expenses, those sorts of things. And the more that you're out there, you're gonna spend more money. You're gonna be in town longer. I deserve a second steak and 4 more beers, and it just starts to add up. Versus if you have a structured schedule, then you don't have time to dilly-dally. As far as a metaphor goes, Rotary's been committed to polio eradication since 1979. We're looking at 40 years of getting rid of this disease. We're well on our way to closing the gap, to making history, and there is no reason to delay. There's no reason to delay. I want to see through to making sure that we make this happen. I share with people whenever I tell them about my project that I want to know that in my lifetime that I contributed in some way to making a concrete difference, and we know that we can close the gap. There's many things that I care about, whether it's racial inequality or environmental concerns. There's lots of things that I could be hiking for to, draw attention to, raise awareness. But I know that with the hike and the support of Rotary, we can close the gap and make history so that no one has to suffer from polio.
Every dollar that they give towards your hike is doubled again by the Gates Foundation, right? So what a great way for you to be able to, if you do reach, I mean, you've already raised $25,000 and you haven't set foot on the trail. And $25,000 is a lot of money, but 75 grand is even more, right? So that's awesome. We're excited too.
I love to tell people about the Gates match because it really puts in perspective. If you're talking about, brass tacks for vaccines, that it's, they say it's about 60 cents to inoculate a child so that their entire life they won't have to suffer from polio. So if you give $1 and Gates gives 2 more, that's $3 divided by 60 cents. My English degree tells me that's 5 kids that will never contract polio. And I mean, that's a big deal. Like you could either, congest your arteries for, a fast sandwich from a drive-through window for $1, or 5 kids will never get polio. It's kind of a big deal.
And an even bigger deal brought home to us because of the pandemic. They talk about how polio is only a plane ride away. I've heard that for years as I was becoming a member of Rotary, and now we know that that's the case. We know that a pandemic could happen, that polio could spread again. And this kind of fundraising is the kind of thing that we need to make sure that we just get it done, get it over with. I love that you're doing it. I love your passion. I love that you're rolling through Carlisle. When is it that you think you'll hit Carlisle if you leave Georgia on March 9th?
It should be about early, or actually it should be in the teens of April that I'll be hitting the Maryland, Pennsylvania section. I'm trying to block it out that every 75 miles will be about 3 days. I'm shooting for 25 miles a day. I'm really trying to push it.
I don't like to drive 25 miles a day, let alone walk from here to my, come on, man, that's a lot.
I think that's conditioning over the last 10 months to reflect on how life used to be. And we would leave the house for that? That's crazy. That's right. But no, I'm looking to cover a lot of ground in a short period of time. It's going to keep me busy, and hopefully I'll be able to get to Pennsylvania by mid-April, mid to late April.
So we're going to have a link to your site associated with this vlog, but I would love to do a vlog with you when you get to Carlisle. Maybe even have you pop into one of our Carlisle meetings if it happens to be around the time that you're there. That would be fabulous. I wouldn't even mind talking about maybe having you Zoom into our conference, which is happening the very first weekend of May. So I'm not sure where you'll be. You'll be a little bit north of here by then, but hopefully. Wouldn't it be cool if you could give us an update?
I'd be happy to. Yeah, share what I've seen, where the people I've met. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay, well, that's great. So is there anything else that you want to share with the group about what you're doing, or anything that they would help them understand? I mean, how can you not understand? Given every $10 counts, right? We have 2,100 members in our Rotary district. So if everybody gave $10, that's $21,000 times 3. That's another 60. I mean, you hit your goal right today if everybody gave that much, right?
Yeah, I mean, little bits, they add up really quickly. It's so powerful. Follow online, follow me on social media. That's one of the big things. If you're not donating money, I'm asking, please follow on social media. My big platforms are Facebook and Instagram. I use the handle, the @ hike for polio, and namely so that we can draw more attention to this. One of my objectives is to have more eyeballs that are not Rotary related to the project, to the cause, for why this is important. I do see the pandemic as a positive because it's in the forefront of people's minds about how viruses are contracted and how easily they spread, and they know no bounds of political geography or race or income. It doesn't matter. And so it's in the forefront of people's minds how viruses work, and if we can remind people about how horrible polio is, all the more reason that we can drive this home and finish it.
That's a big win.
Yeah, it's a big win. And I chuckle. It's a little tongue-in-cheek. But, before we started this call, we were chatting a little bit about, diversity makes the world, beautiful and colorful, and that not everyone sees it the same way. And I've been trying to think of how to look at this problem from the other side of the coin, because I know that there's some people that struggle with, why would I part with my hard-earned dollars to help brown kids on the other side of the world? And the reason that polio has still been around for as long as it has is because of the workings of terror groups such as the Taliban and their efforts for misinformation to tell them that we're doing nefarious things like sterilizing their children. We're not sterilizing their children, we're protecting them from polio. So with all that said, what's one of Americans' favorite pastimes? And that's defeating terrorists. So with that said, if you contribute to the cause and we eradicate polio, we will have therefore thwarted the efforts of the terror groups and ergo defeated the terrorists. So please help me defeat some terrorists. Let's eradicate a disease.
You know, I love it. It's not a stretch at all. I think that's absolutely spectacular. Another way to look at it. So I will make sure that we have the links available. You have your guitar in hand. I didn't really ask you this. I think that's a guitar.
It's a ukulele.
I was going to say it's a very small guitar.
This is my hiking companion. Her name, I will be a little chauvinistic. Her name is Miscellaneous because she does it all. She's made of carbon fiber, and you know, it's for companionship, entertainment. Worst case, if I encounter some bears, I can play Nickelback.
Wow.
But I do like to reflect on quality entertainment, and that's you know, say 1970s sitcoms where the song for the theme song of the sitcom, it told you everything you need to know about the show. The whole premise, you knew. And so why not just borrow from one of the better ones? And so you can have like, so this is a story about a guy named Bo who wants to see humanity free of polio. In 2021, you can be part of his tale, raising funds as he hikes the Appalachian Trail. The Wild East, Green Tunnel, the AT. Polio, that's still a thing, sad but yes it's true. For every dollar raised, Billy gives another 2,200 miles. Owen's Odyssey, hike for polio, going down in history. Second disease to be eradicated. How can this be done but with friends in Rotary? Folks from all around like a happy family. Service above self, that's the motto and the plan. Be sure to like and follow this charming Instagram. Yins come back now, you hear.
Well, I absolutely can't top that. That was absolutely spectacular, and I'm sure that's going to go super viral. So while when we post this,
hopefully I got a couple others in the list, which is all the reason to follow online. Because my plan is she hikes with me. I take her on all my trips. I compromise pack weight for my mental health, and mental health would have been another great reason to be hiking. But you know, let's take care of the polio issue.
Miscellaneous is a fabulous name for a ukulele.
Yes, a friend of mine came up with that, and I am very happy to support that. Before I do leave, I do want to give a big amount of thanks and credit to my lovely wife, Camette, because it takes a strong person to deal with me and my crazy ideas and my shenanigans, and furthermore, to accept still being married to me after I plead and beg and you know, ask, can I run away for months on end? And she is wonderful. She is also a Rotarian, and I just want to give her lots of love. And if anyone else wants to give her love, just put comments on my social media saying lots of love to your wife, because she would love to read those.
I love that. 2,200 miles. We have just about 2,200 members. $10 a member would put you over the top. So I'm feeling the math on that, and I'm a math guy. So and I feel the love that you're trying to do with the polio thing. I think it's just fabulous. So thank you very much. Thanks for your passion, your energy. I'm looking forward to talking to you again when you get to Carlisle, and maybe even at our conference before that. Thanks, folks. Thanks for tuning in to another District Governor's Vlog. I look forward to more of these coming down the pike as we roll through the second half of the Rotary year. And stay tuned as we get an update from Owen and others as we roll through the spring. Be well, and we'll see you around the wheel.